What is going on, everybody? Another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures. Today's episode, throttle controllers, take 2, are they worth it? I can give you a bit of a honest opinion on my original throttle controller that I had on the Triton. I had actually one of this particular brand, Hike It, on the Triton. About 3 years I had that on the car before I sold it. And it was probably one of the better mods I installed on that car for drivability and just making the car a little bit better off-road and that kind of stuff. Let's go into full disclaimer though. These won't give you more power. These aren't designed to give you more power. They are there to give you better throttle response and also make the car more drivable. You can use them to, even if you're overtaking, you want to get on the power a bit quicker. All those kind of things make a little bit better driving on road. And the big one obviously is off-road. So you can go into full rock crawling mode. You can go into the economy settings and make it so it's really, really doughy. So, it's sort of jerking and, jumping over the rocks with your throttle. But there's definitely some pretty cool features that this brings to the table, including the valet mode, which allows you to only allow, let's say, the car go to a certain speed limit. And it also has a theft mode on there to stop let's say, if you're parked in, let's say, a little bit of a rough area and you're cautious about your car getting broken into, you can actually set this up so your throttle won't be able to be used. So even if they break into the car and get it started, they won't be able to use your throttle unless they know the code to unlock it. So another little sort of safety feature, but yeah, it's obviously something that comes with it. Now, installing these guys is pretty simple. I'll go through the whole thing in this video, just like I did with the Triton. Now, we're installing this onto the Y62, but I'll give you a bit of a breakdown on how simple these things are to install. So you have this guy here, which is your main unit. It comes with 2 plugs, very, very simple. One plug goes into the factory throttle position. The other plug bypasses it and then allows this little guy here, which is the module that tells everything what to do, to run the whole thing. And then you have the throttle controller itself. So it's actually not that big. I actually thought it was going to be a little bit bigger, but it's not that big at all. But that is the guy right there. It's got all the settings and it's got this twist dial here on the side, so you can go through your settings. And I'll go through all the details of this guy once I install it. So first things first, I'll show you what you need to do to get this thing installed, and then we'll go through the features and benefit. Then I'll take the car for a bit of a spin, see how it sort of feels on the road. Maybe it's a little bit more perky and that kind of thing, how it feels drive around, around the suburbs, and then I might sort of, give you my final thoughts, just like I did in the original Triton video. But let's get this thing installed, so let's get to it. Alright, so what I've done here is I've just got the screwdriver just to sort of pop it out. So I twisted the screwdriver to get this lever out, and then you want to pull that out, and this goes up, and there is your throttle to ECU cable that we're going to bypass. Now, as I said in the video before, there is a cable that's going to go between here to here, the plug, and there's another cable that goes up to the throttle control itself, which powers it as well. And you're halfway there if you're up to this point, but that's as simple as it is with these things, guys. It's one cable to bypass this, and then running your cables all up through the dash to your throttle controller. So let's move on to the next step. So this is what it should be looking like. You've got the main plug we took out. Then this guy here, as I said, you're sort of bypassing the original factory loom, and this guy goes in the middle. And then you have the white cable, which is here, which goes to the actual throttle controller itself. But essentially, that's what it should be looking like. Put that out of the way, main plug in, bypassed it with this plug here, and then to make sure you cable tie all that out of the way. All right, let's get to the next step. Alright, so sort of thinking there is the go. That sort of gives me pretty good access when I'm driving along. I can sort of, it's hard to see because I'm sort of sitting in the driver's seat. When I'm sort of there, it's out of the way. It's not going to sort of be distracting me, and it's pretty easy access. It's not on there yet, but I can sort of access it from the car. So as I'm driving along, it's going to be pretty easy to access it from right there. So I'm going to chuck it like right there as the go. So you just got double-sided tape, pretty simple. It does come with a little, you can screw it into your dash, but I'm not a big fan of screwing anything into these dashes because I want to keep this car looking nice. But yeah, I'll put it right there, I reckon. That'll be a perfect spot for it. All right, here we are out on the road. This is where you test these things. You really want to sort of get your head around how they work with the car, how things sort of go, all that kind of stuff. So at the moment, I've actually set it up in my old mode. So I used to run at Sport 5 all day, every day in the Trident as just driving around the road. And I want to see how that feels with the Y62 and different motor, completely different cars, right? So I'll sort of give this a go, just to see how it drives. So go down here, drive it how I normally would. Well, that feels okay. Sort of really gets in there nice and quick. There's no hesitation, I suppose is the right word. Coming out, roundabout. Oh yeah, okay. Just get you up to speed nice and quick. So what I want to do now, I want to go into hike it mode. So go down to hike it mode and see, this is full blast. So I'll just see how this feels. I'm going to do the same throttle motion. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Shit. Okay. Okay. So I probably wouldn't use that on the street. I think that's probably a little bit too, yeah, it's probably a little bit too much going on for the street because you're just going to be fanging it everywhere. I wouldn't use that on the street. I'd use that on the beach. So yeah, hike at 10, it's definitely got its place, but it definitely feels, just drive around the suburbs, probably feels a little bit too much. Let me just try that again. Yeah, it's like 10% throttle, a little bit more. Yeah, it gets up and going. I reckon sport's where it's at. I'm gonna go back to sport mode and just drive around like a normal person. Yeah, so that feels better. It's smooth, it's driving nice and smooth. Happy days, yep. I like that. So sport's where it's gonna be again with this car. It's probably very similar to the Trident in that respect. So what I'm gonna do now is go into auto mode, which I'm in now. So auto mode is actually designed to adjust to your driving. So it's going to learn how you put your throttle down. When you want real quick throttle, if you put your throttle down really quick, it's going to go like into that hike it mode and just go straight onto it. So I'm going to see how we go with auto mode, just see what happens with this one. So let's go just down here. Okay, that sort of feels like sports mode. Just sort of putting my foot down. That sort of feels like sports 5. Yeah, and you put your foot down straight away, it kicks in, which is good. So auto mode, it doesn't actually feel too bad. Maybe I might stick with that. Auto mode feels quite good actually. Okay, you sort of put your foot half. Maybe auto mode might be the go. I might have to sort of come back to on this because I'm in between sports mode and auto mode. Because I think they both have a good place, and this auto mode sort of really works out what I'm trying to do. It's sort of preempting what I'm trying to do. So I know I'm putting my foot into it, let's say like 30%, and it's going, all right, well, if you're 30%, I'm going to put it down to sort of 50%, and then it sort of gives you half throttle, and it's pretty much driving how I want it to. I reckon sports mode's still where it's at though. Ooh, I don't know, it's hard choice. What else we got? We got full drive mode, we'll leave that alone, and we have cruise mode. So cruise mode is sort of like a dumbed down sports mode. I'll put it into cruise mode 5, but it's just gonna be a little bit more perky than like the standard throttle, if you know what I mean. See, it just drops down gear a little bit quicker, and it just feels like it's a little bit more perky than stock. Like you'd have this if you don't want to have that instantaneous throttle, but still feels pretty good. Cruise is not bad, but I reckon sort of sports where it's at for me. Definitely don't want to go into I'll go and hike it again, but I feel like it's probably just, yeah, it's very perky. I mean, it gets up and goes, but it's bloody perky. That'd be perfect on the beach, I reckon. So what I might do though, just to test it out, I'm going to put into 4-drive eco mode. Okay, so that's half throttle. Wow, okay. It's reminded me of all the time when I made the video on the Trident. Wow, half throttle. Now it's picking up, but I can see how that benefits you on the rocks. I mean, I used it once or twice, but not too much. But not bad, not bad. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back into sport because I think that's where we. If I'm gonna go sport 7, I reckon that might be. Oh yeah, that's where it needs to be. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Then you start hearing the snorkel. Now we're talking. Perfect. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. It's working in manual mode as well. Just go into manual mode. Yep. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Feels good. Feels good. All right. Well, I think that concludes this video. As always, I'm going to give this a whirl for. Well, it'll probably stay in the car. It'll probably stay in the car for the rest of the time I've got it. Really. So I'll probably keep this in there for the 10 years or whatever I'm going to have this car for. 9 years now. Ooh, yeah, I do like it. It's definitely different to the standard throttle. I mean, I know it's not giving me any more power, but it does feel a bit better in my seat. That's for sure. It does feel a bit better. Beautiful. All right. Well, I'm going to conclude the video there, guys. I still highly recommend these things. If you got a diesel car, really highly recommend it. It was a definite big thing for the Triton. It made that car so much more drivable, and the Y62 now has another lease on life. It's a little bit more perky, and it's just getting up and going a bit quicker, which is pretty cool to see. So as I said, I'm going to sort of leave it there. That's been another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures. If you like this video, please, as always, like and subscribe. I'll just turn me sensors off there. As always, like and subscribe, and jump on the Hike It website if you want to get one yourself. There's a 10% discount code. I'll put that link in the description with the 10% code 4x4 Camping and Adventures. But I might leave it there. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to keep on playing around with it and sort of set out a bit of a mode and go from there. So if I don't see you in the next video, I shall see you out in the tracks and trails. If I don't see you out in the tracks and trails, I shall see you later. Bye.